whatever way you found me, you are here because you're meant to come here to the Chicago Rising Phoenix Mystery School Wellness Center. Come meet me. Come. You'll love it. You'll love it. Join us every 4 months when I host the retreats. Let me know if you have any questions, write in the comments. It is incredible to be here with you today. As you know, I've been covering and I've been channeling Nikola Tesla, but I had yet to actually stay at the New Yorker, which we know that was the epicenter in the heart of Tartaria and what was happening with the world's fairs and the evolution of the intelligence of humankind. And this entire video, I'm going to be channeling him, giving you information and messages from him, from the beyond, from the spirit realm, from the ether, who he very much knew through his experiments and formulas, and as well as eyesight might come in as well, because I channel both of them, and I'll be referencing different videos and courses throughout this time, because today I'll be channeling new information. As we know, every video is new content. So I'll be referencing you there to where you need to find more information. And we have Gina here in chat. If just write your questions along the way and we'll ensure to cover them. It is a joy to be here with you. As always, setting very clear intentions that only source of light, only love and true benevolence is allowed to be spoken through today, and all the messages that I will be delivering today. My intention, as always, is for the most organic timelines of Earth, which, if you've been watching me or just began, magic happens. The 5D crystalline construct comes into manifestation and materialization through all the content and videos that I've been showing you. So you were here perhaps at the beginning when I was talking about all these different, ways of how humanity was being controlled. And maybe 9 years ago when I began that, I am in the 9th year. I just thought about that. I was talking to Nikola Tesla, which took me some time to come on. Is he was talking about all the different theories and showing me like the quantum realm and how everything is an equation. So we'll be going into that, but it is the minds that were born in the Tartarian times in the late 1800s and early 1900s were grand. We are currently in, the repeated cycle of that, because we are, in the, again, late 1900s and early 2000s. So we're seeing these genius minds being repeated, but as we know, a lot of these scientists and even children have been targeted and have gone missing. So it is such an honor to be delivering messages from him. And stay tuned, watch this video all the way to the end. It's going to be grand. I'll be teaching quantum physics in whatever form I can, but otherwise my courses are quite incredible. I'll reference you to those courses where we speak for 3 to 4 hours on some of these expansive concepts. And it doesn't have to be, you all, like, you think quantum physics, you think it's like something unattainable, but the truth is that everyone in the late 1800s and 1900s, the education system was completely not what it is now. We know the education system right now is really made to MK Ultra and control the expansion of your mind, and to give you a program, and then all it is a programming over another programming and another program. What I can tell you is that Nikola Tesla's biggest message when I was at the New Yorker for a week, it was that these systems are breaking, and he's more so encouraging humankind to become intelligent, to question everything. And the more that you question things, the more that the answers will come forth, because the universe is always listening and will always answer, through all the different formulas that are communicating through the equations of your soul, of your mind, of your body, of your consciousness, of the ether, and all the periodic table elements, the elements of nature. Yeah, so we really are uniting both the spirit and the science together, and we've been doing that for the last couple of years, specifically uniting them, especially through the extra sensitive series, where I've been channeling Nikola Tesla, Einstein, and all these different beings that you definitely don't want to miss. That series, that membership is available under my websites, aurapractitioners.com and risingphoenixaurora.com. Find my books. We're going to finish up right here, the introductions. Find my books on their Barnes and Noble, Amazon, and many other locations. You can find the links there. Lost Cities of Tartaria Beyond the Ice Walls of Antarctica, and then the consciousness of memory of the universe and the multiverse through people's minds who were so incredible in being able to access their memory through the quantum alchemy and quantum mind to be able to recall it. So I have had thousands of sessions now, and specifically over 700 sessions of past life regression, which is not something out of the ordinary. It is something quite actually normal for the mind to be able to do. And we're recalling all different memories of time spaces of where you've been in the now and in the past. I am definitely going to strongly suggest for you to watch Orbiting into Higher Timelines, which was Elon Musk and Donald J. Trump, President Donald J. Trump, and and I was speaking about the different timelines and how to orbit them into higher timelines. So what I could tell you is that those timelines of that video that I did, that those timelines that we spoke of that we can manifest are here. I've been having many messages from my dream time. Is not really dream time. It's the brain is not really what they say it is. Imagination is not make believe. Your imagination is the way that your brain articulates what the brain is trying to communicate to you. So as the brain articulates this, the way that you can retain the memory of what your consciousness and your higher self is trying to tell you, that's the most important for you to know in this now, perhaps to raise in vibration and frequency, is the way that it gives you visions through dream times, through daydreams. These are visions. So it's the way that the brain is giving you messages that you need to hear. So I'll be referencing some of the information I've been receiving about, especially about the AI and what's happening in future inverted timelines or not inverted timelines, that the AI and the robots are think that they're in charge and have taken over, say, the power of humanity. You've watched all the movies. I don't need to reference them. But let's to finish up my intro though, come check me out. I am going to come have tea with A.U.R.A and come chat with me, which is in about 2 weeks. That's my next event. I'm going to be having this event once a month. And this is going to be my very first one, June 14. There's a membership for that for you to join. You get to chat with me for about an hour and a half, and then we go into a past life regression, group regression, where you go in and talk to your higher self. It's like a guided meditation, helping yourself find your own healings and answers. I hold the grandest space of love. June 14, come sign up. Love to meet you. If you've been watching me, why not, you all? Come meet me in person. It'd be an honor to have you here at my wellness center. All right, so that is it. Let's get started, you all. Here we go. So much to talk about. Okay, everything was good. Yeah, right. Okay, we're looking good. You love the cup, isn't it cute? Yes. So big. All right. So much has been happening in that week that I was at the New Yorker. Many things happened. I know that there was some kind of bangs going on, like in New York, New Jersey, and I even heard in South Carolina, there was like loud, explosive sounds. And, some people call meteoroids or asteroids coming in. All right, good. Thank you for that. And then Gina, got you on that. Okay. So today I will do incredible as I deliver, setting an intention. I will do incredible at understanding the quantum physics that I'll be explaining a bit of, but really do those courses that I referenced you to really understand them, because we break them apart so that you're able to retain them. Because like you could listen to this video and not retain it, and it's just gonna like fly away, right? But he is once more, Nikola Tesla is challenging you to look at the entire world as a formula, as even some of Einstein's theories of the E equals mc square. They very much work together beyond, and especially all these expansive adults or children who are being born questioning and being able to see the threads and the alchemy and the cymatics, the sacred geometry, and all around you, the quantum alchemy. Now, the number one thing is that he wants you to understand that you're very receptive all the time. You are receptive because your body, as you know, is made up of 60 to 75% of water, depending on the human. And same for animals. Animals can have even up to 80 or 90% of water retained within their body. So so that you can understand how receptive you are to your environment, what you're listening to, what you might be reading, what you're allowing your consciousness to become one with, then he wants you to look at this now and how basically water works with sound. And you might have seen this video, but this would be a very simple understanding for you to understand. And then I have pictures and videos of some of what happened while I was at the New Yorker for a week, okay? But for now, let's start off with the water, okay? And we'll go from there. All right. Now, if you haven't done the extrasensitive series, I have someone who worked at the New Yorker for some time, and they provided me with data and details to what the New Yorker really was, which I'll show you a tad bit of it, but go to the extrasensitive series to watch that entire. I channel him for like 2-3 episodes, and then they transition into like Area 51, Grand Canyon, Abraham Lincoln, and then we went to Einstein, when then we understood their role together, Nikola Tesla and their relationship, and Einstein, especially with the time rip that we've been repairing since Philadelphia experiment. Okay, you've heard me reference it tons of times. So watch the series to really understand what happened with them. So he tells the backstory. He tells what happened to him. Did he really just naturally die or not, and what's going on with his experiments. He talks about his experiments, his patents, information that we need to know in this time space. You've seen me reference him and find information and data of his written, and how the government stole his patents and experiments and has been using them inadvertently through especially like the wildfires and the laser technologies. Okay, so yeah, you've been hearing me talk about him constantly, referencing his intelligence. He says that the human potential, mind and brain you need to go back, even he says, to time spaces where you were watching those movies and reading those books and sitting in front of a TV for long periods of time, and understand that it was all being, say, downloaded to your mind. Okay, and he wants to challenge you to go back and remove those that you feel were falseness, not really the truth. Yeah, and really go into your brain and your consciousness, your memory, and take time for yourself. There's so much that you do all day long that you keep yourself distracted, but you're so beautiful. If you could just take time to work within your memory and what you've allowed to become part of you, and unintegrate anything artificial, it just would be so expansive for you, and it would make space for your consciousness, your quantum being, your body, to make space for things that are more higher frequency and higher density, versus what the heaviness that you're retaining in you that could be so very much false. So I'm just going to show you a quick little video really quick of how water reacts. So if you are water, right? Look at how, like, basically like music, this is just a drop of water over a speaker, a sound speaker, and then basically the different harmonics. So you go from a second harmonic to a third harmonic. And this is also explaining the different dimensions, because to enter the different dimensions, there is a star energy that enters, okay, that you can enter through. The stars are portals. The different stars from above in the sky. I'm going to show you what I saw on my way to New York or two. It's crazy. So again, we're at the 5th now star. So stars are used invertedly, as we know, through the Freemasons. They use them. They know the powers of stars. But we're just talking about what's organic here and what's divine. So now a 6th octave harmonic over the raindrop, and then the 7. You see that? So if just one tiny little raindrop or drop of water could be disreceptive to sound and different frequencies that are being emitted, think about how influential and how receptive you are. And yep, so here it says that it is, so here it tells you this, the video I showed you, shape oscillation of a levitated drop in an acoustic field. Okay, that shows you there where it was made. Okay, so now you understand. So think about all the different frequencies that are coming at you, and so many videos we talked about negative technologies. Book 1 and book 2 are talking extensively about that. Okay, and then I want to show you this really cool video so you could understand how you work scientifically. Let me see. Someone shared this in my Telegram recently. Let me find it. Just thought about it. Hold on. Where is it? Okay, so it's basically showing how your consciousness, your brain reacts to. It's called synaptogenesis, and okay, so watch this. So it shows like when you're learning how these different synaptogenesis or synapses in your brain creates threads into materialization of what you're consenting to or agreeing to become part of you. Okay, so this is what a moment of learning looks like. Okay, this is the synaptogenesis. All right, so look at that. So what happens is that the minute you say agree with something, it becomes a part of your reality, and it creates this synaptogenesis or synapses threading one another with the neurons and the neurals in your brain. Then the neurons basically create the existence and the reality. We've really been talking about projecting, being very aware of the way that you're projecting your environment and your existence, your reality within Earth, right? Okay, so you understand a thought, something you're learning, you say you're in school. This is some of how it's basically integrating into you and becoming part of you, and the way it's morphing and really changing you when you believe it. This is also why, for example, we found out the truth of what we already know, like channeling Hitler, how the New World Order after World War II rewrote the history and wrote it into the books, and that then taught us, especially in America, that he killed all these Jews, when we've actually found all the data, and it's endless, you all, of what really happened. But what happens is, why do people become so angered at this? Because what happens is that their hypnosis, right here, their synaptogenesis or the hypnosis, these little threads, hypnosis, are part of creating that. So if you tell them, what do you mean? They made it up. It's like it's threaded into their brain that they can't even get you and understand you. So you would have to create a whole entire new setting up the Genesis, these threads, and rethread them with the right information. But you can't do that so long as you are really basically allowing yourself to be programmed. Now, what's happening is that we're going to talk about the Cabbage Patch Kids and the clones and what happened that later. But we have a lot of clones and a lot of people, which you do see that in high populated cities like, you know, New York City or other cities where there's seems, I've talked about it in the past, how there really was, especially the first time or the second time I visited New York, there was a lot of not humans, like a lot of aliens pretending that they were humans, like the movie Men in Black, for real. So, okay. So then these people are not really people, there's NPCs, and NPCs are basically non-player characters who are part of the Matrix simulation. And they're just there filling in the space in the artificial intelligence matrices that we've been teaching you not to consent to. That's what A.U.R.A hypnosis entity removal is all about. It teaches you how to remove yourself from the matrix, and how to start walking and being within the 5-dimensional crystalline toroidals fields, magnetic fields that are naturally part of Mother Earth, Gaia. Okay. All right. So we understand that. Let me see if you guys have any questions so far. How we doing? Okay. Let me know you guys understanding everything. Yeah. Okay. So thank you to the current live streaming 93. All right, hit thumbs up, guys, and then hit like right now. Are you good? You guys already have some questions. So someone's asking, is the New Yorker Hotel located in a special place on the Earth? Yes, 34th and A Street, right? In New York, right? What is that? Let's ask them today and get some of these questions answered for you. Okay. Let me answer the questions so that for what I've already shared so far. New York is the most populated city in the United States. Yes. Question, did you get to experience the subway, trains, and buses in the city? I did not go into subways. My angels guides would not let me go into the subways, as it is, there's really too many, say, dark ones walking around. So that's not something that divinely I was allowed to do within my most organic, positive timelines. However, I did ride the buses, and I mean, those were really good experiences. What I could tell you, at least in the buses, is that I did find Japan, Tokyo way more busier and more crowded than New York. Like if you were riding trains and buses in Tokyo or Nagoya, in Japan, you were lucky if you got a seat, and at least we were able to find seats, at least on the bus in New York. It's all crowded, you're jam-packed, you really are just next to each other, and so that's not what I experienced as for what I'm seeing now. In the past, there were even more people, and what I could tell you that in the past when I visited, it seemed more populated. The reason why it seemed more populated in that time space, what year was that? That was 2020. That was about 2-3 years ago. Was it 2020? 2023 is when I really officially walked around New York. I visited once, but I just went in and out. So say the official time in 2023. And I talked to you about how many non-humans there were in the streets everywhere you went. So it seems like as we are Mandelaing out, it doesn't seem like this is factual, as we are Mandelaing out into higher octaves of Mother Earth, these parasitic type of dark aliens masking as humankind are, I don't know what they're doing. Well, I do know what they're doing, but they're positive polarizing, or I mean, they could also just be returning back to source. And they're not basically matching the vibration of divine Mother Earth as she raises it to a higher octave into the 5D construct. She's currently oscillating in a very, very fourth dimensional state of quantum energy. Okay, her toroidal is raising and she's only able to raise in certain octaves, because what happens is that if she has to be she's very caring to humankind, and knows that if she raises too fast, we will not be able to, we can not that we could disintegrate, but it's something like that. We won't disintegrate. She wouldn't do that to us because she's our mother, but you know, she's here holding on to being violated every day by the AI and all these dark technologies, you know. And we're seeing the shift on Earth, and what he wants to say, Nikola Tesla. Oh, hummingbird! Oh, thank you. Oh, so cute. He's like floating right there and went that way. Okay. As I said, Nikola Tesla, he's a hummingbird now. He's just like, you know, he moves so fast in all 360 degrees, so he needs a hummingbird body. I don't think people realize how much Nikola Tesla is very much living in the time space of the New Yorker. Like, he is there, you all, and I'm going to explain to you how, but he is, wow, like everywhere, okay? There wasn't an alone moment for me, even in my hotel room in the New Yorker. I always felt his presence there with me. It is a feeling of never being alone, very respectful. He's not a ghost, you know, but he is an ascended master. And he is accessing from his ascended master form, accessing the time space of him being there. Because just like we teach you through the time traveling video, the short, make sure you go subscribe to my Rising Phoenix Mystery School Wellness Center channels found under Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and it's called Rising Phoenix Mystery School. Okay, and Wellness Center. Those links, we'll add those here, because that's where you can find all my shorts, but you can find them here on Rumble too, so that you're able to keep up with these concepts that we speak about. So okay, so remember how I talked about in the time traveling short video, how your body is with you all your life. So your body is technically the bridge and the connecting point to everywhere you're at. Okay, so think about it. If this I'll show you quick like pictures and videos of what an incredible self-sustainable building, you know, like a self-sustainable community. It's wow, you all, the New Yorker is. But if every single item on there, and they've done an incredible job, love to those managers and those people that have been keeping the New Yorker afloat and kept her very, you know, back still with kind of the core from, you know, when he built her. And he built her, and he was not poor, you all. He was rich. They would pay him billions of dollars for, you know, his inventions. There's absolutely no way. He basically funded it with other companies, the New Yorker, and that was his baby. Why do you think he lived there for the last over a decade of his life? Because that was his, you know, his home. So that's how important it was for him, the New Yorker, to us. Think about, like, he could have ascended out or passed away or chose to be at any other place in this entire world, but he chose New York City in that exact point on 34th Street, 8th Street. Boom. Why? And we'll be going into that. Okay. All right, that's looking really good. So let's look at some of what I've already mentioned. All right, so we're understanding these concepts. Okay, so I mentioned in the New Yorker. Let's go into the New Yorker. She is a beauty. Show you a quick flyer that I received. Well, actually, before we go into the New Yorker, in order for you to get into the New Yorker, you actually have to go through, well, you could go through the John F. Kennedy, right? The John F. Kennedy Airport in, I think it's New Jersey, but New York. And but you could choose the one that's only like 15-20 minutes ago, which is called La Guardia. And this airport was actually created and built so that you could travel to the New Yorker, La Guardia. Okay. So this is such an incredible time. So beginning from my journey to the New Yorker, I did not realize it. It was actually just the most, beneficial, most least expensive flight to fly into LaGuardia, right? So I have all this information. This is LaGuardia, the history of LaGuardia field. So this is information you'll find later. I'm not going to share this with you because I dedicated hours to this data, okay? That you can watch if you join the extra sensitive series. Okay, so that's LaGuardia, right? LaGuardia is, so you go there, and then from there, the way that it was set up so that you go from LaGuardia, and then there was a train station that let you in Penn Station. But what happened is that they knocked it down. It's not there anymore. Again, you can find all these details in that series. Okay. All right. So there's underground levels that we don't know about, which we cover in that series again. Okay. Now, also, like, it's interesting to think about, like, why did he choose 1929? Because that's the logo he wrote, right? 1929. Why 1929? So we're going to go just slightly into the 369 theory and understanding the 9 and how powerful the 9 is. But 9, so that's 18, 9. So let's add up 1, 9, 2, 9. 18, 19, 20, 21, which adds up to the 3. Why did he choose, he could have chosen any year. Why did he choose a year that added up to the 3? Let's ask him. Okay. 10. And then you got the 1, 9, which is 10, which equals 1. Then you got the 2, 9, which equals 11. Okay, so he says that ultimately they also add up to 1s, right? Because 1, 9 equals 10, which take away the 0 is 1. 2, 9 equals 11. So you got 3 pillars. He says that you need the foundation of 3 pillars of the 3 within the 369 to everything that you create. It creates it into material, into a formation, and it also then finally becomes like an equation, like E equals mc squared. Okay. E equals mc squared is basically the sum to what makes up everything that is a live organism, a body, a tile, a room. You know, it's the formula to what makes up that form, that quantum sum. Okay. All right. Again, I'm trying to stick again, guys, to what's new. Okay. All right. So that's that. So he's got 3 pillars. All right. So why did you choose those 3 pillars? 1929. Okay. All right. I mean, I even have documents on what, like the data on when, like the purchases and so on. Trying to think here. Here's data. Here's to prove again what I just said. Okay, so this is actual like receipts from when he was making the New Yorker. And according to this, right, let's read that. 75 feet underground in solid rock. Did you hear that? 75 feet underground in solid rock. There's 75 feet under the New Yorker. So construction of the world's largest hotel is underway. Photo shows the excavation for the foundations for the Hotel New Yorker at 31st Street and 8th Avenue. All excavation has been made in solid rock, thus necessitating the removal of 2,225 Sibi feet of rock. The hotel will be 5 stories below the street level, but they don't let you go 5 stories, you all. Why did he have 5 stories below? And it has to do with his actual laboratory. You really think that he did all his experiments in the 2 rooms that he had? And if you ever stayed at these rooms, I mean, they're kind of tiny. You know, there's not really, you need if you're a scientist, you need a large lab. So then 5 stories below the street level and 43 stories above the street, the total depth of this excavation would be 75 feet when the cost of the hotel is estimated at 22 million, you all. A view of the excavation, your credit line met red. Okay, so he was approved for 22 million. Yeah. Okay, so let me just show you a quick like flyer of what their advertisement was then. Okay. Can I find that one? Eventually, what happened is once you listen to the extra sensitive series, is that he did not get along with the government. Initially, he was assisting them, but what happened was that he really was pure intended and saw that they were trying to use what his knowledge of science against humanity, and that's when he pulled back. And when he pulled back is when they didn't like it. The dark aliens that had entered in that time space and were, they were, they only wanted people who they could control, and they couldn't control him when he said no. So then, I mean, there's quite incredible how the bottom of the New Yorker works that no one can see, but I have pictures of that. Can tell you how, but this is the locomotive engine. It's all ran by its own self-sustainable kind of etheric engines, okay, by the alternating current, like using his theories of the alternating current. If you don't understand that, again, you have to watch the series. But let me find the one flyer that shows how many. This one is pretty rad. It's pretty amazing. So this is all data, factual data. But look at this, y'all. This is, here's a little bit of his generator, right? They're not going to show everything, but the laundry room, look at this, right here. Okay, this modern, highly mechanized hotel is a vertical village, 43 stories. It is a vertical village, I like that. 43 stories high and 4 deep that can house 5,000 inhabitants. It has a bank. Yep, it's not there anymore, but it did have a boat with a bank, and that's closed off now. A hospital, a print shop, a power plant that could light a city of 35,000. Okay, you understand? Its laundry handles 15 tons of linen. 15 tons of linen a day. While spread out, its sheets alone would cover 30 acres. A radio in every room gives a choice of 4 programs. And it goes into the ballrooms, the lobby. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it looks like where they had the bank, how they put the restaurant, looks like. Huh. Yeah, because this is the front of it. This is the corner. Interesting. For me, it was personally hard to eat at that restaurant. I couldn't eat there. Really kind of upset my stomach. But that's, I just realized that now that we were sitting where the bank was at, where some probably not so good things happened, especially when they took over his, I think this is JP Morgan, at some point took over his lien or the New Yorker. See. Oh, there's the hospital, X-ray, consulting room, sterilizing room, and it goes into details which we're not going to go into, okay? But that's what, okay, so that's where I was at. So let me show you like pictures of this now time space, okay? So good picture of what it looked like then, and now let's go into what I saw. Okay. So as we're talking about that, let's ask him, okay, so let's go into that now that you got the visual. So why 43rd and 8th Street? So he's going to share with me as much as he can because he has to protect the New Yorkers still, right? Because all the bad guys haven't been removed. The parasitic ones haven't been removed. So He wants to still protect his New York, or his home. Um, so let's go into that. 43rd. And 8th Street. So we got 43rd adds up to 7. Then we got 8th adds up to... See, he says that it's about the equation and the sum. So you're seeing a union of 43rd, which is 7, and then 8. 7 and 8. Why are we using these dimensional energies of 7 and 8, Tesla? Well, he says it's about the sum of 8 and 7. What does 8 and 7 equal? I can't add up right now. 14, 15, 6 adds to 6, right? 8 plus 7 equals 6. Well, 8 plus 7 equals 15, which then equals 6. Okay. He says that he needed to make it into, it's all in engineering, right? So it's an equation, all right? So 1, he got the 3 pillars of light. Why were we talking about the 3 pillars of light? I can't even remember right now. Like when I go into channel, like you all, I instantly forget because I'm just flowing it out. Why did I talk about the 3 pillars? Gina, text me. What is the 3 pillars about? Oh my goodness. Okay. We talked about the 3 numbers and 3 pillars. Oh, the year. Thank you. He brought it back to me. Thank you. The year that he made it, 1929. So those were 3 pillars. That's the number 3. Okay. Then we got the street number that adds up to 6. Okay. And then he stayed. It was just where he stayed and ate and showered, right? I mean, but he had some of his devices and contractions to make his experiments in his room, and he had some of his blueprints there, right? Okay, so we're looking at a 3 in the year. Both of the streets add up to the sum of 6. So let's look at his room number. All right, room number. He stayed in 2 rooms, which was, so I have pictures for you here. He stayed in 3327. 27 is very important for us. The reason why it's so important is because, for example, like when I went to Antarctica and, the whole mission I did in Machu Picchu, all I kept seeing was 27. So you heard me talk about it. Even when we met the foxes, it was right by a number 27. So it's really him also very much guiding us. All right. So, but let's add up 3327. What does that add up to? 3327. So 6. So technically he's on the 33rd floor. Okay. 33. When we went to Japan and we channeled 1,000 Hands and Eyes Kuan Yin, talked about that mission there. You could check that out. And we really talked about the atomic bombs that happened there and subatomic levels in those 2 channelings, part 1 and part 2. Okay. All right. So 3 plus 3 equals 6. So he's on the 33rd floor, which equals another 6. Okay. Which 33rd floor then equals the 6th dimension. What have I been telling you for years? People constantly say that we need to return back to the 5D. Yes, we do. The fifth dimension is where we find the crystalline energy. But the truth is that we're in the 5th dimension and we were going to ascend out into the 6th dimension as a collective within Earth. So we're not, yes, we need to return to the 5th dimension, but we are not ascending out until we enter not the 5th dimension, the 6th dimension. So we're seeing the 6s and how important they are. Something as simple as I've been teaching you all, right, this whole time is that something as simple as the trend, fun trend, right, in TikTok, 6-7, 6-7, 6-7. So what does that mean? Okay, why is everyone, laughing about it and having so much fun with 6-7? The reason why is because everyone's favorite number is 7, correct? Okay. How has the number 6 been used invertedly? It's been used to the false Luciferian agenda, which we know the Prince of Light, who they call Lucifer, is the Prince of Light, is Divine Father of creation. We know that. And I know, again, you need to work on your synopsis and the way that they falsely threaded that into your consciousness to understand that. But what I'm telling you is that we're only going to be teaching divine, pure crystalline love light here. Okay, so that's all that's allowed within this space, and that is all. And haters and trolls, keep it to yourself. Don't even bother. So, but what they did is that they targeting the masculine, they target him through calling him Lucifer, the Prince of Light, the light that emanates and is the being, it's the light within divine, the masculine energy. So when you believe that, then you create the Hypnosis, which then the Hypnosis, the threads that I showed you, create the reality and then project out the false matrix, and then need you to be projecting it out to power up their matrices. All right. Okay. So the sixth, Satan. Satan is hell. It's really it's not a real existence. It's an illusion created by the artificial intelligence, the Archon. And if you don't believe what I've been talking about and you want to prove you all, this is crazy. Okay, this is what happened right before, days before I went to the New Yorker. No joke. Okay. We'll go back to the number that adds up, but I got to show you since we're talking about the Archon Merlin. Okay. Okay. We've been talking to you about the books, and then the book 2 is all about this artificial intelligence that is soulless, right? That's just robots and so on. That's using humankind as guinea pigs. We've also watched the videos Time Traveler series, a couple videos on that. Okay. Check this out. You don't believe me that the Archon is the bad one? Look at this machine and look at what it's called. It is telling us that it's right there. And what is this machine doing? This machine digs into Earth and hurts her. Hurts her. By its name, Archon. Okay? All right, you don't believe me even more so. This is what Nikola Tesla showed me when I was there, sitting in the TikTok diner where the bank used to sit at. Look at this. Crazy. All right, so we got a machine that claws at her and is violating her energetically, sexually, really. And then I'm sitting here in the TikTok diner and they're talking about artificial intelligence. And once more, you're not going to believe it unless I show you proof, and I have proof again. This, see this? Okay, hands off. And he's showing me this while I'm sitting in the diner. Hands off, take off. Artificial intelligence is learning to fly airplanes. You're not going to believe what is called the airplane. Artificial intelligence airplane. You can't quite make it out, but you see something there, and here's the video. Okay, now let it play. It's talking all about this artificial intelligence, learning to fly airplanes. Check this out. So we have a machine that claws Mother Earth and her soil, her auric field, and is penetrating her, called Archon. Not making this up, y'all. Then we have an airplane that is learning to fly. Check this out and look at its name. Right there. Ha! Merlin, the magician, the one that sold his soul then away to the AI, which is in book 2. That began the fall of Atlantis and digressed us into the third dimension by the artificial intelligence, the ego, the envy, the hatred, the jealousy, everything that powers up the artificial intelligence and the soulless soul eaters and entities and dark aliens. All right. So these two things back to back, one right before I'm going to go, another while I'm sitting inside the New Yorker, he's talking to me, Nikola Tesla showing me this on the news, on CNN, the Merlin airplane that can fly itself. What the? All right. Okay, so back to his, so there's some messages. So while I'm talking about this, and we'll go back to his room, we're going to be going back and forth, is that I want you back to the time traveler video, not time traveler, what is time traveling video, the short, is I talk about how we have our bodies and how our bodies are our connecting points to all points and spaces in whatever year you're at. Okay, so let me explain to you this. Let me explain to you. If you wash 1,000 hands Kuan Yin and eyes, it really will help you with this, but you'll still understand it. All right. So I went to Japan. Okay. So people ask me when they're with me at my retreats and my school, like they ask me, how do you do it, or how do you always know? I've learned to become a self-master at my body and my consciousness. First, you got to get rid of all those bugs and entities and parasites in you. Once you get rid of all that AI and integration and the immunizations and COVID vaccine, all that stuff, right? You basically are allowing your vessel to create friction at a higher state of being and frequency and vibration, where in your toroidals, your magnetic fields are vibrating so high that it allows for you to be constantly communicating to the organic threads of the fifth dimensional construct of Earth, okay? So when that happens, is that you're then vibrating your vessel to her and the way she vibrates to 5D construct. Okay. And then that connects the spiral within orbiting into higher timelines video. Okay. That's the spiral, how time really exists as a spiral, alternating current, but the wave is really a spiral. Okay. So the me is constantly speaking to the future me. Let me explain to you. So you saw in the 1,000 hands Kuan Yin, I wanted a Vajra. You see them in all Buddhist, and I was waiting for the right one, right? So you see it in Buddhist deities, gods, goddesses, in the ancient cymatics, Tartarian buildings, the old statues, the temples, they're all there. Both Buddhist and just overall ancient teachings. All right. So what happened is that when I was in a temple in Japan is where I found my Vajra, right? Okay. So this is how I did it. This is how I found it. Okay. And then I'll help you how you can start communicating to you in all time spaces. All right. So initially I passed by this shop where I found the 1,000 hands Kuan Yin carved out of wood, right? Okay. I passed by the shop first time. It wasn't the divine timing. It always needs to be the exact timing. It comes up with the sum. The sum has to always add up. You cannot receive anything within its highest organic light unless it's the sum, the E equals MC square has added up to the highest vibrational oscillation. Okay? All right. So, in that moment, when I passed by at first, it wasn't the divine timing. So then I asked myself, my higher self, my consciousness, should I go in? I felt attracted to the space, but the little voice, my consciousness, me, said no. And I said, okay. So I just don't question it. I just keep moving on. I went to this bridge and it was raining so hard. And I come back and it's time for us to get back on the bus. And when I pass by the shop this time, I feel a magnetic energy being pulled to it. And I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I had a no. Am I supposed to go into it to shop now? Where I found this adorable Japanese man who sculpted gorgeous sculptures, out of metal, out of crystal, out of stone, out of wood. He's been sculpting all his life. He's hunchback, so just beautiful. And all right, so this is how I did it. Okay, this is how I do it. This is how I always know, you all. And I know I've explained this, but this is how you're really going to get it. Okay, so the me who was standing after I went in the second time, my consciousness said yes. The me who was standing there with my Vajra, right? My bell, I'm standing there. This me is standing there. I bilocated to the me who was questioning if I should go into that shop 30 minutes before. I bilocated back into my body and I told her, me, in that time space 30 minutes ago, since all time is connected within a spiral. And I told her, go in. So when I asked 30 minutes prior, I asked, should I go into the shop the second time? And I heard my own voice guides me. I don't necessarily hear guides and other voices. Sometimes I do, but most often it's just me guiding myself in this form, self-mastered form. So then I heard my own voice say, yes, go in. You understand? Because me 30 minutes from now, paying for these items, bilocated to the me 30 minutes ago, you understand? And said, go in when I asked a question. And that's how I'm constantly doing it. Anything and you could practice with little things like, whatever you're making a decision on, no matter how big and small that decision is, you won't know till that time space that you're in that actual moment and space. You understand? So I won't officially know until I'm there 30 minutes from now, say purchasing these items that I needed to purchase, right? But the me from the future who is in that moment is constantly going to be guiding the me 30 minutes ago who is making the decision to be in that moment 30 minutes from now. You understand? That's how I do it. And this is how I'm constantly doing it. When I'm delivering these messages to you all, I am communicating them from the future, just like I knew that orbiting into higher timelines video, this was going to be the most organic timelines for us, not the one where we're in FEMA camps, being jabbed and being told by a program what we are to believe and be, taught historically. Okay? We are sovereign beings. Why would we even consent to that? And if you are thinking that that is okay, you really need to work within your consciousness and mind and figure out what is creating a synopsis within my brain that is making me think that this is okay, And yeah. Okay, so back to, okay, so you understand. So I wanted you to understand this because I want you to understand that in that moment, his ascended master form, he was Mandelaing in and giving communications. Those booms that you were hearing was him in different parts, in different areas, especially in New Jersey, where he had his initial lab where he developed the alternating current and basically how to create electricity from thin air. By creating a friction motion, a movement. If you move something and you oscillate, you create a tornado and you're spinning it, it's going to create a vortex energy. Okay, it's going to suck it in, like watching water go down the drain. It sucks in the energy, and at that point, obviously, it can make Wi-Fi. It can make free, sustainable, electricity from the thin air because it's creating the motion and pulling in the electricity. You understand? So that's what those booms were. That was Nikola Tesla, just to let you know. All right. So let me see. So then, being in that exact space where he was at, you understand? Where he lived all those decades was absolutely incredible for me because I understood the power of how all these time spaces, Mandela, and communicate to one another through the spiral of orbiting into higher timelines, right? The spiral of time, which I can show you a quick picture of, reference points, right? And how time works like a music, okay? Right, so the spiral, the alternating current looks like this, like a wave. But if you look at it from, that's a side view, but if you look at it from say from a higher perspective, like a bird's eye point of view, it turns into a spiral. Okay, then we have the 369 theory. Okay, so as we're speaking about the different 3s and 9s that he's choosing and why he was there in that location, he wants you to understand that the number 3 is where it begins, right? That's why he chose that year with the 3 pillars of creating his New Yorker. Okay, then it goes into the 6th dimension. We've talked about removing the false belief, and the artificial intelligence, the inverted matrix data of how 6-9 is devil number. That's false. They want you to believe that it's a devil number or Lucifer or so on because they don't want you to go into the 6th dimension, which all the Earths are going to ascend out when we finally shift out all this AI and this artificial matrices. We, shed off all the falseness, like a butterfly, finally gaining her wings from a caterpillar. So that's why. Okay, but it goes from 3 to 6. When you add, 3 upon itself, it becomes a 9. When you add another 3 to the 6, it becomes, when you add a 3 upon itself, it becomes a 6. And you keep adding then the threes, because he says the 3 pillars are foundations of what you're creating. The 3 is very important. So then, to creating the 3 pillars. Why is the number 3? We talk about this, a Holy Trinity, Mother, Father, and Child. Mother and Father had a child, which was 3. Everything was created from the number 3 initially, because that's when the Phoenix, the daughter of the flame, was born from Mother and Father's love. Okay? So then everything within the number 3 is always going to bring that Holy Trinity is going to bring like a materialization into carbon base or crystalline. Before it even becomes a carbon base, right? Like physical form, it needs to be etheric and etherically energetic. The foundation needs to be created etherically, like a sum. The sum, the E equals MC square. Then you can finally make it into material, into a carbon base, a physical form, into where we're at in our dimensional existence. Okay. Let me know, guys. I know I've been talking so much, but I'll take your questions now. But let me finish explaining this. So 3, then there's the 6, right? And again, you all, if you feel it, I give all these videos, all 1,000 videos for free. If you want to support this video and all that I do, sign up to any of my memberships, or buy some books and jewelry or whatever, as I am a family-owned business. And I honor you for your love back. So then 3 and then 6, all right, 6th dimension. Now what happens is that with the 9, okay, so you add the 3 plus 3 equals 6, then you add 3 plus the 6 equals 9. This is where it becomes incredible. The number 9 is absolutely the most beautiful, magical number of equations. Understanding the 9, you are limitless, okay? Because number 9 adds up and divides and multiplies and subtracts all to its own sum. 9 plus 9 equals 18, so on and so on, and goes on and on and on. Okay. Gina, did you find a image, or I think you said you found, I think you found a TikTok. I need like a visual, and I couldn't find a visual, and I wasn't able to make it on time. So I think you said you found me a TikTok video. That's good. So let me look, and hopefully they're good. Okay, this one looks pretty good. Let's see. It says here, did you know every multiple of 9 adds up to 9? It's not just multiple, it's division, it's subtraction, and addition, you all. Adds up to 9. Okay, so the reason why it adds up to 9, and I'm going to show you like a short video on that, is because it is our universe's number. It's the only number in any equation, no matter which way you go about it, through any type of, these different physics, is going to add up always to the 9, okay? Which means that the number 9 is the universe's number. We talked about this through channeling Anna, and she goes into the energetic and spiritual form of why our universe is the number 9. In quantum physics science, it makes sense why that would be. Okay, so let's watch the short video. I haven't watched it. I'm sure it's good. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is just talking about the multiplication. So 27, 2 plus 7 equals 9. 135 equals 9. 765 equals 18, which equals 9. Okay, that's just one video, right? It's deeper than that. Let's see another one. By 9. Why does this math trick always give you 9? Take any number that's divisible by 9 and add up to all the digits. Well, that's too much. I don't want to go into that. Let's see. Did you know 9 is a magical number? When you multiply 9 by any number and add up the digits of the answer, it equals 9. There we go. This is pretty simple here. 9 plus 8, 72. See that? 7 plus 2 equals then 9 too. 9 plus 11. So multiply anything by 9, add up anything by 9, divide anything by 9, subtract anything by 9. It will still always add up. The sum, this right here, the sum here, will always add up to 9. See that? Okay. That is incredible. When you understand mathematics, that is like beyond like, wow, how could that even be, right? Okay. Only number that does that. Okay, so this is why 369 is so important. 3 is the 3 pillars, the third dimensional, everything where everything began from. Okay, then you add another 3 to that is the 6, the sixth dimension. We're about to ascend. We're going to ascend out to eradicate the artificial, the parasitic entities. 9 is the universe. Okay, 3 is the beginning of creation. 6 is the ascended us in the ascended universe, multiverse. 9 is the entire universe, which then adds up to the multiverse, and each verse basically has its own sum. So it's trippy, you all, when you go into like your other multiversal selves, because in their verse, which creation is a lotus flower, right, and the each petal's a verse, like in book 2 we explain. So each one of these, so in this other verse, maybe 8 might add up to itself over and over, which is whoa, crazy, right? Maybe 7. We're also the blue lotus. Blue is very important here. It's very protective, right? The laser couldn't burn down all of Lahaina's blue cars and so on because it cannot penetrate blue. So maybe in another verse, red is the major color, and maybe that color is fully protective and you can't get through. Okay, so you know, you've had those dreams where you're you in another time space, but you're not you. Like my husband was telling me about his dream that he was like, in this world we live in a certain place, but in this other version of him we live in another place. And then I was telling him, well, that's another verse, right? It's another verse of you. So it's trippy because it's like you could be with the same people that you are, but everything is different but the same at the same time. So different equations, because I mean it would make sense because that verse is powered up by another another number, another equation, and another color. Everything is a song and a frequency. Your water, just like I showed you that oscillating raindrop. Think about it. Your water is oscillating like this all day long. You're reacting to the entire environment within you and outside of you all day long. Okay. Okay, let me try to take your questions because I know I've been talking over an hour and I haven't really taken your questions. It's just flowing out here. Okay, thank you. So let's see some of your questions. Okay, all right. So yes, we're beginning to answer, 34th and 8th Avenue, your first question. So now we're gonna go back to, now you understand like these kind of more expansive quantum physics and theories. Now we're going to go into like see how I teach these, like you're able to understand them. So these courses are just wow, because that's what he's encouraging you, become more intelligent. You can do it. Yes, you can. Stop limiting yourself with thinking I can't understand this, I can't do this. Yes, you can. I'm telling you, these courses are taught like that. So Gina will share the link to all the courses that I had been teaching. We teach it once a month live. Right now we're in Egypt and we're in our 20th month of deciphering the hieroglyphics. You all, it is wow to what's happening and being taught there. But where we at? Yes, the room number. Okay. All right. So back to that. So 3327. All right. So we understand the 369, we understand that now, right? And then why did he choose 3327 and 3328? Okay, so when we added up 3327, that was 6 plus 2 plus 7, which then equaled 15, which added up to 6th dimension. And then, did he 6-7 us? Don't play with me. Hold on. Right? Because that's why the child did that, like 6-7, because 6 was always getting beat up and being they don't want us to enter the 6th dimension, while 7 is everyone's lucky number. So he conjoined the collective conjoined 6-7. Hold on. So I would say that as of to hold on. So let me add it up. 6 plus 2 plus 8 equals 16, which equals 7. Ha ha! That's Nikola Tesla, no joke. So his numbers add up to 6-7, you all. All jokes to the side, that's epic. 7 is assisting 6 to rise up and to remove the satanic ritual and all those ritual sacrifices they've been doing, because 7 is healing 6 and bringing her up, bringing her back into our awareness so that we could ascend into the 6th dimension. She's creating the beautiful threads, a synopsis of the consciousness, and healing those threads. Oh my goodness. You are funny. You're funny, Nikola Tesla. You're funny. He's funny. He can be funny. Okay, you are. All right, well, now we know 6-7 for real. Okay, so that's that. So those are some of the numbers that he wanted to explain there. Interesting enough, he put us right under him, which that just happened in the same hall that he was in. So he put us. Can I say this? I can say this. Yeah, because they can't time jump anymore. He put us in the 27th floor. Crazy, huh? He literally put us in the 27th floor right under him. Can't make this up. All right, so how incredible to have been. So, okay, so back to like, imagine like speaking to him consciously, like in dream time, but then also being in the same space he walked, the same hallways, the same elevator she took, whether going down to his lavatory or going up to his room. He walked all those places. You know, he was really funny. Let me tell you, like, just to make it clear that he was with me during that time. So this is what he would do. Like, he is not a ghost, but he was like an acting being there. And let me tell you how. Like, okay, I would go into the elevator, right, in the 27th floor. And you know when the elevator is going to close, but then say someone presses the button because they're going to like, but I don't know if it will open. I don't think it will. Once it's already closing, it won't open. It's too late, even if they press the button. Anyways, so it's closing. It's halfway, the door's halfway closed. It's about to fully close so I could go down, right? As it's halfway closing, it opens like someone presses it, right? It will only open if you press it. And then you could feel his presence walk into the elevator, and then it closes normally. There's nobody there in the hallway. It's only him. So he would do things like that. He was also like, he's interesting. He doesn't like not that, you know, he's loving, he's innocent and master, but in this form that he was communicating to us, he was working on people in the elevator, like consciously. Like there was this girl who was like wearing this little top and little tiny like skirt and like, you know, like literally showing out her skin. And she's walking like, you know, like she's, you know, really into herself, vainly, you know, vainly, not confident, more like ego and vain. And he closes the door on her. He closes the door on her and it hits her kind of like hard. But it was interesting to see her because she was like, you know, like, But it was a lesson for her. Like he's trying to wake her up. Stop being so vain and all about your looks. And then her mother comes in behind her, and her mother is sweet and she's smiling at me, and she's so sweet to her. Like she kisses her daughter's arm from being hit by the elevator. So it's like he's actively trying to like oscillate out and shift out people's like inversions and densities in there. I don't know if you all have ever stayed there. Have you all stayed there? And I don't know if it's a thing that maybe what happened was that his time space really orbited to our time space. And with all the continual lifting of vibration and all the work we've been doing on Earth, and then, the magnetic fields, and then the booms that were happening in New York while we're there, or, the way that our minds are raising in higher consciousness. Maybe that's why, but he's become more active. But let me know if he's been there at the New Yorker. Did these things kind of happen to you? Maybe it's just now. He's going to be very active there, but he definitely was active. Okay, so those are some of the things that were just fun to share. All right, and what else can I share? So he wants you to understand that. So the Mother Mary course really talks about this, like how everything is created from the Fibonacci symbol spirals and the sum to creation. Okay. He wants you to know that everything has a vibration, whether it's a lower vibration or a higher vibration. Some people are vibrating to a lower, slower song, slower vibration. If you are vibrating to a higher, you would be oscillating more at a higher frequency, higher oscillation, like a higher alternating current. Okay. So he challenges you to raise that energy. What happens is that you have all these attachments, right? Through aura hypnosis entity removal, we teach you how to remove that and remove yourself from the AI matrix. So then it basically densifies you, it makes you so heavy, so you're just can't barely move, you're exhausted, you're drained, because something else is eating and munching on your light, whether it's people or attachments that you have. So he wants you to know that when you are vibrating to a higher state of being, what happens is that there is a constant cymatics, a formula that's coming out of you. Even your voice is speaking in a rhythmic cadence, like a song, different octaves, like music notes. And there is, to everything you're speaking, there's even a formula to that is mathematically being communicated through everything you're speaking of. Okay, so it's about reading that. So through our Rising Phoenix Mystery School, we teach basically this quantum alchemy, the cymatics to the formulas of what different things that you can not consent to. So just like he basically made engineering, we teach the quantum engineering, the quantum alchemy, to very as simple as possible, how to create like his patents, like, let me see if I can find you something really quick. Okay. Okay, so let's look at something simple, like, not simple, but okay. So did you know that he's the one that made the Niagara Falls? Well, the Niagara Falls was there, but he made the Niagara Falls into an engineering. And did you know that all of New York City is powered up by Niagara Falls? Yeah. And yeah, he understands water. Okay, so let's look at that. So here, like these, okay, so here, see this? Okay, this is the system, the engineering to how the Niagara Falls, look at the Niagara Falls Power Company, okay? Transverse section power. So all these here, all these engineering, basically the tutorials inside of there, are constantly oscillating the energy in combination with the water that are creating the electricity. The amplification is creating a battery source. Okay. All right. So through our mystery school, we teach, like, okay, this is an alchemy in itself. So we give you the formula. So how 369 and how 9 equates to everything. So we give you the sacred cymatic alchemy symbols to what octaves of dimensions you're trying to communicate to. So in an engineering of your organic timeline. Okay, now we teach you how to do this, you do this yourself, but we have the formulas to everything that you can think of to vibrate your vessel to an organic crystalline form. Okay, that goes into aura hypnosis and raw Reiki. That's what I can share with you. It's very deep, you all. The different meridians and chakras and the energies that are flowing through your body, it creates a cymatic like the raindrop, and then it basically sacredly protects the magnetic fields and the energy that's always emanating in and out of your field all day long, like an engineering, like this. So, okay, I have to be cautious what I share here, but just know that that's what that is. Okay, what else that I want to share with you all? Probably, okay, there's so much, you all, but I'm gonna try to finish this video right now. Okay, that's my goal. I'm gonna take questions. I'm going to take questions. Okay. So much to share. Okay, I'm gonna take the questions and I'm gonna show you some other things that I got, some other important data there. Okay, so I feel that we did a really good job answering the 31st and 8th Avenue in New York and why he's located there. Okay, all right, next one is, yeah, we said that. Got that. Okay. So how many synopsis are used for just one picture in our brains? There is no number. But what he can tell us is that it adds up to 9s, of course. So you would need lots of 369s to add up to make the pictures of your brains. Yeah, so let's think about that, right? Those threads that I showed you, right? The synopsis. Wow. Like, think about how much it would take of these threads to visualize a communication through your brain. That's pretty cool. The system, the inverted world, the old world is falling, you all. And this is his biggest message to you. The system is breaking. Your intelligence is growing. All you have to do is step into that timeline and then go with it like a moving, walking escalator. They had those, right, in Tartaria. You could like go all over. In Chicago, they had those. You could just go on them, and like the airport ones. But they didn't just stop at the corners. They go zzz, everywhere. It's pretty cool. Yeah, you just need to get on that road and go with it. Like the Year of the Unicorn, fast paced. Not fast paced as a moving time fast. And this goes into book 2, but we are in a clock construct. Okay. And I don't know if I want to go into that. It's too complex, but it's in book 2. Read it. We're in time construct. Okay. All right. So that's that question. What else can I say about that? So he understood we were in a time construct. He also actually factually talks about in all his articles about we're in a firmament. He talks about it. We're in a Tesla coil that he understood. He had to understand, like the plasma balls that you touch, it goes. He had to understand that to harness the electricity and to know that there's some kind of crystalline dome above us to echo in the lightning, right? Like the lightning that shoots out back and forth through the crystalline firmament. This is facts, you are all scientists of that time space in the late 1800s and 1900s spoke about there being a firmament. It's a real data information, but the New World Order changed that because they wanted to stupefy us and dumbify us. Okay, but let me help you understand a little bit of time, but you really got to read book 2 to understand this. But so we're in a time construct. Everything is numbers. Everything is a formula. That's what he loved to do. He loved to find, and Einstein was even, so it was beautiful the way the relationship was between them because Einstein figured out the formulas, like the equations of numbers, right? So Einstein's talking a lot right now too. But Nikola Tesla figured out the contraction. So basically he materialized the formula. So with Einstein, it was about numbers that you can't quite materialize only by written form, right? So, but what what Tesla did was that he materialized the formulas in quantum engineering, into the different patents, hundreds and hundreds, 800 patents, he says he had, or more inventions. No, he didn't have, he didn't register them all patents. He said he had over 800 inventions alone, maybe more. But I think he only registered under 200 of them as patents. So let's see. Okay, so like, so let's just share. Here's a fun picture that I found of Tesla and Einstein. There's Einstein, there's Tesla. Fun, huh? And other scientists. Okay, so let me see what else here. Do I even want to go into the time construct? I don't think I can. No, I can't. It's going to get too expensive, you all, and we're over the limit time here. I am going to be teaching a course of Nikola Tesla after we finish Egypt, alongside with Da Vinci Code. We're going to be deciphering that, going into more, quantum physics there and astrology. So you really want to join those courses, you all. It's not something that you will ever regret. It's going to be like more like, how come I didn't do this long time ago? You get them at a discounted price, only $40, $40 if you get the memberships on my sites now. It's turn to learn them in lifetime space. Okay. So we're not going to go into the time, the Earth being the time. Okay, but we're going to go into something else. Okay. So let me make sure I answer all your questions. Okay, so everything I've spoken, you guys have several questions. All right, next question is, what can you do if you encounter clones or NPCs? Is there a way you can help them? You would need to understand aura hypnosis, entity removal for that, because your vessel is an alchemy. Okay, your vessel is a quantum alchemy. It's a symphony. Your vessel is, and when you start learning how to use the sacred alchemy and the sacred geometry that already exists within you, but you're actively using it, it's like working the muscles, right? You can't get that bicep strong unless you start working it out. Even just thinking about like, often our legs are always being worked on, right? Because you're always walking, you're always running. But do you work out your arms enough? You probably don't. You got that flap you're trying to work on. Okay. So you could understand your mind. Like there's parts of your mind that you're not working out, like your arms. Your legs are stronger, but your arms are weaker. So what he is lovingly pushing you to is to work on those other parts of you that are dormant in your brain. Your mind, he says that your neurons can grow and you could even multiply them, but you need to reach a certain intelligence oscillation field within your brain to reach and create a new neuron. You can create neurons. What happens on Earth is that a lot of people who have dementia and all these like Alzheimer's is that their neurons have died or have petrified or fallen asleep, or they're just not really electromagnetically, like the electricity of the electrons that are operating, the photons within their brains and their neurons. You guys know what a neuron looks like? I'm trying to save time. So it looks like a tree in your brain and it has electricity running through it. So that's what happens. It's like they become asleep and they forget themselves. The neurons are not communicating to each other anymore. Okay? So when you start working like it, becoming that instrument, that orchestra you are to sacred alchemy, quantum alchemy, and you oscillate and you Mandela out false NPCs. NPCs are not real, they're soulless. They're just empty, hollow vessels that are programmed. You could even see glitches. You could probably find videos on TikTok, glitches in the matrix. You know, they disappear. What happened to them? You see videos where people disappear. They don't even spontaneously combust, you know? They just disappear because they weren't real. They weren't real. Clones, that's a whole nother level. I can't even try to teach you that. Or hypnosis entity removal teaches you how to work with entities like that are clones, how to instantly positive polarize them. The divine mother has given us, I'm going to stop there, but we just know that we have solutions. Okay, so that's what I can say to that. Next question is, did you get his room? I did not. Somebody was in there, and honestly, it was too expensive. You know, I didn't need to because I was under his room and I needed to be on the 27th floor, which I equal to 9. Yeah. Okay. I wonder what number my room number equal to. Hold on. Let's see. My room number equal to 9 and 6. 6, 9. Which equals 15. Which equals 6. No joke. Oh my god. Okay, I just figured that out right now. Oh, that's so cool. 9, 6, 6, 9. So cool. All right, what else? The New Yorker has 43 stories and it's on the corner of 34th Street. Oh. Do you think there is some mirroring effect going on? For sure. Protective. 34th Street, 7. And then 43 stories, 7 again. Protecting from the building and how it's a vertical community, and then protecting from the actual street too. And then we got 8, which is Lionsgate, all to do with the Lionsgate. And we've been talking about the Lionsgate. I make a video every year about the Lionsgate. There's gonna be an eclipse. And it's going to go through, she's going to, I'll make a video about that later. But she's gonna end up in Spain. She's gonna do some major work. All right. A Lionsgate. So he had the 8 Lionsgate energy there, the infinity alchemy to that. Absolutely mirroring. Thank you for your ad. Someone said, did you see Madison Square Garden down the block or Macy's? I did. I walked, I would say an average, I would say 27 miles. I'm just going to go with that number because it adds up to 9 and I'm loving 27 right now. I would say for sure 27 miles. It's a lot of walking, you all. I mean, people have to be very fit in New York. It's a lot of walking. Yeah. So next one, the wandering stars create beautiful sacred geometry shapes in the sky. Are they singing their own music, which creates the sematics of geometric shapes it creates into the sky? Thanks. Boom. How did you know? You don't know, but your higher self is telling you this has happened. When I was flying in the airplane to the very special airplane, LaGuardia, ¿verdad? Estoy hablando español, no sé por qué estoy hablando español, pero sí, se me salió. Yeah. Okay, LaGuardia, which is basically, in Spanish, is the guardian. So, the airport. Okay, yeah, so I'm on the airplane, right? This is what happens. You can't make this up, y'all. So do you remember when I'm on a series currently, was on part 4 or 5, part 5, I Survive Antarctica. I went there on a cruise and I went there right in February, March. Yeah. And something's happening with the stars. When you look up in the stars, you all, if you live in Arizona, Sedona, I know when I went to Arizona years ago right? 2020, 2021, there were so many stars. It was infinite. But now when I went like recently, maybe like a year ago, there's barely any stars. Tell me, are you seeing that many stars, or do you find that you're missing stars? The stars are ascending, you all. They are ascending. And I probably have to make another video for that to help you understand that. But they're okay. So this is what happens on an airplane. Right here, you all. So remember how I told you that the firmament, the crystalline dome has lowered and the stars are closer now, right? And we've been seeing this since 2023. And I've made videos about it, right? What was it? What's that video about? Oh, what was that titled? Can't remember right now, but it was during the time that I hosted a retreat in Angel Oaks, South Carolina. Okay. Angel Oaks tree. Okay. And we saw the stars come down to us. And then the Orion man, instead of he was going back like this, now he's going forward, which means time has been rewritten. Okay. So to your question, let me tell you this. Remember how I told you on my way to Antarctica, the stars were below us in the airplane and next to us? I got it. Our video this time. Star Series. Here we go. She's right there. Next to our window. No joke, you all. And you can see the cymatics in her. Look, I took pictures too. You see that? Okay. Doesn't that look just like the raindrop? It's consciousness. Star is a consciousness, and it's a collective consciousness. We teach that in the quantum. Look, you see all the colors? That's how Sirius looks, right? All the different colors. All right. So that's happening, right? And then there's a bunch of pictures. Let's see. I took. Hard to get it through the glass, but I mean, yeah, I think I did pretty good. Imagine the wonders to a star being right next to you on an airplane. See that? It's changing shapes, colors, shapes constantly. All right. And there's some pictures of the New Yorker. So let me try to answer your question now that you knew that I had recorded that. But you didn't know, right? Your higher self knew. Wandering stars. So the wandering stars are the ones that they call planets, like Jupiter and Venus. And they're quite incredible. They're so incredible, you all. They make shapes in our sky. They make geometric patterns in the crystalline dome above us. Not gonna go into that, but I go deep into this in the Egyptian courses because the stars speak to us as we read the hieroglyphics. But really quick, did you know that the wandering stars, the planets, make these shapes? But they do. Okay, you're a star. So we teach you through aura hypnosis how to make this sacred geometry where you're constantly cymatically oscillating out inversions, which keep you into a highest vibratory oscillating form. In the quantum realm, you're using all your selves, your crystalline body, your energy body, your physical body, right? All right, that's that. So, yeah, are they singing their own music? Yes, they are. You saw those shapes, which creates the cymatics of the geometric shapes. Yes, it creates in the sky. Yes, exactly. You answered your own question. Thank you. I won't go deeper into that, but it's deep. So what are your thoughts on Neuralink? Tell me about that. Is that like the Elon Musk thing? I don't agree with anything that has to do with technology connecting to your neurons. Tell me what Neuralink is. I only believe in you doing the work yourself, energetically, learning how we teach you. It's so simple, you all. And make it seem like it seems like it's complex, you all, but we teach it step by step on how to do it. Yeah, it's an implant in brain by Elon. So I've already made the video on orbiting into higher timelines. I've already explained to you the understanding of why Elon is important to our timelines, in that orbiting into higher timelines. The old world is falling apart. Same reason why you, the light, the person of you made out of light, was born into a family that is full of darkness. Because you need to bring the light and transmute and oscillate, vibrate that into a higher state of being. Same reason why Elon is there, and you can watch that video to understand that further. I do not agree, no, with a neuron link. These things are coming up in our now time space, so we could say no to them so that they could wither away and dissipate and disappear. But at the route that we're going and allowing AI to integrate, it is definitely something to be concerned about. But know that, let me tell you though, with the dreams that Archangel Michael was sharing with me while I was there with Nikola Tesla, and Nikola Tesla was showing me his whole vision was to communicate, and so that the worlds and the worlds, the old world and the new world, were communicating to one another. Asia, Europe, Africa, South America, North America were communicating to each other. He invented the blimps, the flying blimps that went to Antarctica and beyond Antarctica, which, they targeted him for that. Everything that he was trying to do, the dark aliens didn't like it, and they really were targeting him over it. So much so that, he gave his life for it. But what happened is that we live in a world in Atlantis where we were telepathically communicating to each other. Then we densified into a fourth dimension, then a third dimension, and we've been rising since into higher octaves of dimensions. And with that, we don't have that direct telekinesis. We do in some form, right? We're able to communicate, but not directly, like fully there, like when we were in the 5D construct. So you wanted to create a world where we can see each other from one side of the world, so that nothing could be hiding, so that the what was ill-intended could be outed and be seen and found. And he did that for us. He created he was the founder of telecommunications. He ensured that we were communicating to each other. He did that. So thank him for that. And because of that, nowadays, nothing can hide. Everything will be outed, So that is the world he wanted us to be, the vision of that and what he was seeing in his brain, and he did it. So, yeah, I don't agree with Neuralink. No, never integrate AI, never. And then when will the system fall? Thank you. Yeah, the system, the schooling system, any kind of these inverted system, especially the schooling system, and it's falling, you all. It's falling away. The IRS, Trump, thank you for suing them. You know what this means? That means that you can sue them now. How much money have they taken away from your family? Is it hundreds of thousands? Is it 10,000? How much money has this alien? Nobody even knows who exactly is the IRS, right? It's like it's basically aliens, and they are taking the money while they're making us less, making us, I guess, less abundant or more poor or whatever. Because they want us to be in constant, say, starvation and lack of. They keep us in lack of. That's a lower vibrational feeling and emotion that we feel, constant lack of. And then when we're in lack of, we can't create because we're not oscillating into a higher state of being. That's why they have the whole money system and why the IRS is there to pay them. They don't want you to be abundant, because then when you're abundant, you're too creative. Like, say, Donald J. Trump and his family is. You have companies. You're selling different things. You're too abundant, and then you can't sell out. They can't buy you out. They want people to be in lack of, so that you could be so desperate and want money so much that you can sell out to them. And that's why Elon Musk and Trump and other, important figures who haven't sold out are important. That's why they're important, because they're abundant beings that cannot be tricked. Because, you name it, they got it. How are you going to convince them to do something that they already have. You're not going to convince them to do anything if they already have it. They have no lack of, you understand? So then you can't influence them. And that's what they want a world of, people who are easily influenced. Yeah. I don't know when the system will fall, but I do know that it's happened. When I was there, he showed me the dissipation, the evaporation, the transmutation of these systems, and we need to stand up and say no. Like, another thing is these data centers, why are they using so much water, and what are they doing to that water? It seems to be some kind of part AI with these data centers that requires the water. The water is so important because the water is what vibrates us higher. So we heal the plasma, the water in our body and outside the body, and you remove the artificial in it, and what's the dark goo and venom in it, it literally oscillates us into higher octaves, like you saw, like the little raindrop. It raises us into higher star points, higher dimensions, stars representing the dimensions. What is the purpose of Elon SpaceX? Is not really going into space. I mean, it's not. I mean, that's his own kind of personal business. I'm not going to go into that. But we've seen those rockets, they hit something, some kind of ocean beyond the ice, beyond the crystalline dome. It's hitting something. I can't really go into that. Yeah, that's what I can say now. So now how to vibrate higher, faster. There's videos on that, short videos you could watch under my Rising Phoenix Mystery School, like why you need protection and how to not consent to inversions, how the aura works, short videos. That's how you vibrate your vessel higher. I've been talking about it this whole time, cymatically creating quantum alchemy to raise your vibration higher. What will happen next year, 2027? What will happen next year, 2027? What I could tell you is that, you know, those moments that we've been waiting. Remember how I started channeling in Lionsgate, and I started telling you that 2022 was going to be the beginning, the fall of the pedophiles, and it happened in 2022, 2023. The major pedophile, P. Diddy Daddy, that guy got finally outed for the informant that he was, and the way he was paid off by really clones and dark aliens to do what he did in blackmail celebrities and superstars and drug them and anally rape them. Anyways, this guy, so that's what I was seeing, right? I predicted that and I knew that it was going to happen because in my time space, I saw it happen because I had my body back then in 2022 when I started speaking about it. Was it 2022? And then I spoke about 2022. Oh, no, sorry. I began to speak about it in 2022 and then it happened in 2023, 2024. Because my vessel from 2022 to 2024 was living it. And in 2022, went back and spoke to her and told her, this is happening. You need to start talking about it so that it could come to be, right? Because that's what we do. We communicate the positive organic timelines that are going to especially save children, right? This is why I do everything I do. I am here to help the adults become more intelligent and become more discerning and sovereign so that they can save their children. That is everything of why I do what I do, to save children. To reach the children, I reach the adults. And I also offer services though for children too. Very lovingly. They're so cute. And all children love me. So it will happen. Will happen. Oh, I'll make a year. I'll tell you that. I'll make a video on that. Keep an eye out towards the end of the year or whenever I'm told. Maybe Lionsgate. I don't know. It's huge. So just like we were waiting for 2023, 2024, Lionsgate. Okay. We've been waiting for 2027. When there's going to be an eclipse somewhere is what I can say right now. Somewhere. And Eclipses. Oh, you are so beautiful. Eclipses. I have an article I wrote about eclipses and how saw the eclipse with my bare eyes, and which explains to you near like how your optic nerve connecting to your eyes and how it works scientifically. It's so beautiful. So think about it when you read that article, how that can materialize a beautiful, more higher octave of life for you if you're percepting and you're projecting out a more positive organic timeline. Okay, next one is neurons are stars. We're going to finish up this video. If neurons are stars and we could build more neuron pathways in the brain, does that mean we help with activating the connections among stars and different galaxy networks? Exactly. It also means that the stars are doing this above us by connecting like neurons too, creating the sacred alchemy above us. And then there's the brain, communicating to us here. So much happened. Let me try to cover it in a couple minutes here. Something really cool that happened here. Like things were Mandelaing, and something happened in New York besides the booms, right? This is what happened. Let me try to find it. Okay, so I went to his museum, which it was down at the bottom floor, right? And I'm not going to go into every picture of this because we're finishing up the video. But here is some of what's at the bottom of the basement. Not technically the basement, right? Because we know that there's more floors. So really, beautiful, and his inventions, right? By the way, here, you see this? I said, why do you have a light bulb and why is it lit up? Because he said, I lit it up. He's holding the light bulb with his hand. That's how electrical. Like when I channeled him, we talked about how he could see like light orbs when he was younger. He's powering it up, you all. Can you do that? Have you reached a level of intelligence and higher like the electrons within your body, the photons, are they oscillating so high that you could power up a light bulb when you touch it? You have not yet. So let's work on that, yeah? Let's get our bodies to do that. Okay? That's what that picture is about. That is rad. Pictures, of different parties that would be hosted there. These are Rosa Parks, Coretta Scott King, some well-known African Americans there. Ah, look at that. Is equals. I wonder what year that was. Just 1958. Nice. Okay, so much. We're not gonna go into the details of that. There's Pennsylvania Station that I was speaking to you guys about that was in front of the New Yorker, but they knocked it down. And that Penn Station, you could travel from everywhere. Is train station, and come from all over. Okay. Memorabilia, really, really amazing things. This is something about this here. Okay, modern hotel is a huge machine. 1930, April 1930. Express elevators in the New Yorker rise 700 feet a minute and automatically stop at signal. Yeah, wow. Dispatcher controls elevators from lobby. Indicator shows position in elevators colored by lights. Master panel sets or releases automatic elevator controls. So this goes into like the details of how it's being ran like a machine and engineering. Belts move in direction of arrows carrying dishes. Cool. Automatic dishwasher cleans 12,000 pieces of china in an hour. Wow. That is cool. Okay. So much. Let me see anything else. There's so many. I'm going to skip through these. We talk about this in his channeling, what they mean. Extra sensitive series. Okay, this is what happened. So I went to the museum, and then I get a message from someone who lives in New York, and they're like, Aurora, there's a rainbow plasma field, right, happening. And I'm like, yeah, I'm right under it. And then I asked the person, I said, they're native, native and no people from New York. And I said, have you ever seen anything like it? No. They said, never have seen that. Let me try to find another one here. I get closer to under it. Wow, right? So that was pretty cool. I don't know if anyone covered that. Okay. What else do I want to share that I must now? So much. I think that's it. Let me see what other questions and comments you guys have. I just love this picture. My feet with the 1929 and New Yorker emblem, sigil protection. All right, what's up, you all? Questions, comments? To support this video and all that I do, go to all my websites, aurapractitioners.com, risingphoenixaurora.com, and sign up to any of our memberships, you all. If you think that this is next level, which it is, get ready. Get ready. For our teachings and our courses, they are next level, beyond next level. Yeah, let me see if you guys have any other questions that I need to answer now. And let me read your comments too. Okay, no more questions. Awesome. And let me read your comments. Someone said, I heard a river flows below the 31st Street. That is accurate. There is a water system that flows under. We speak about that when I channeled him in the extra sensitive series. The next one is the synaptogenesis process also looks like one of the recent crop circles. Oh, send me that. Next one is Grand Central Terminal is something so special and magical. The work on the ceiling is gorgeous. Oh, okay. I didn't even go to that one. Beautiful. His ascension date was January 7, 1943. That's true. So what does that add up to? 6. So January 7, 8 plus 1943, 10 plus 4, 3, 10, well, 1 plus 4, 3, 8. There you go. Infinity, right? Because 8, oh, January 7 equals to 8. So 1 and 7 equals 8. The year equals another 8. Let's add that up again. 1 plus 9 equals 10. Plus 7 equals 8. 8 plus 8 equals 16. 7. I'm added wrong? Okay. Let me add that again. January 7. 1 plus 7 is 8, right? 17, which is equals 8. Yeah. 1 plus 7 equals 8. 1943 equals 8, correct? I got it? I did get it, correct? Yeah. So then it equals 16, and then equals 8. The month and the day equals 8. The year equals 8, which equals 16. Equals 7. Oh, not 8, 7. So 8 and 8 then equals 7. You're right. That's the part I added wrong. Okay, they said Tesla moved there from 1933 and stayed until he ascended in 1943. Correct. So there is the 33 and the 43. Or the 6 and 7 again. 6, 7 equals 13. Nice. And then he was in your vibrational bubble. He was the whole time. I honestly, it would be a little bit alarming when I walk into my hotel room and I felt like someone was just there. He would do things like I would close the bathroom door and the closet door, and he would open them wide when I would come back in. Stuff like that. just like telling me he's there. He was really happy I was there. And then, yeah, he was in the my vibrational bubble. Yeah, in your yeah, he was. So then, someone else said, I heard he was a breatharian. When did he know he didn't have to eat anymore? Yeah, he definitely was a breatharian. We speak about it in the extra sensitive series. I mean, when you could power up a light bulb and you have electricity running through you, he could actually get shocked and not die. He said. So, you probably don't need much food and water, because the photons are that amplified in you that he is a lovely. You all go watch the channeling of him. He talks about his mother. It's so beautiful. It makes it so personal to know him like that. Okay. When did he know? It's not a when, it's just that you just know, he says. Yeah. Just be cautious with that. Feel your body. Don't, I need food personally because it grounds me to earth, because otherwise I'm too high in vibration. So, and then I'm floating, and then I need to ground. So, yeah, feel how your body feels. It's hard to vibrate high stuck with toxic people. Absolutely. That's why I have the course on removal of toxic people. Yeah, there's no way. Factually, it's a science. You cannot vibrate higher if you have toxic people leached onto you. No matter how much alchemy you could do. I mean, the alchemy will profoundly assist you, but those people are going to keep munching on you like parasites. Not as many stars in what I see. The stars are so close. I love it. Good. I'm guessing Arizona. Wow. Okay. Next one. The light bulb is a symbol for when you discover something. The light bulb getting lit up in the brain is when a new neuron pathway is being created. I love that. I agree. The number 7 is assisting with the 7-colored rainbow. Absolutely. Moon measured in miles is 2,160. 2 plus 1 plus 6, 9 equals 2160, which divided by 2 equals 1080. 1080 equals 9. Cool. Nice. The angle of the octagon divided by 3 is 720. 7 plus 9 plus 7 plus 2 equals 9. Nice. So you got the 8. So octagon, which is an 8, divided by 3 could be 72, which could be like 27 too, right? And equals a 9. Nice. It makes sense. I mean, because 9 comes after 8. The total of the hexagon. Oh, divided. Wait, hold on. I think I mixed those up. Hold on. Miles divided by 2. Okay. The angle of an octagon. Oh, sorry. The angle of an octagon is 10 plus 8, 1080. 1 plus 8 equals 9. Yes. Then hexagon adds up to a 9 too. There you go, guys. So 7. So divided by 3, the hexagon 720. 7 plus 2 plus 9 equals the total of the hexagon, which equals a 9 again. So the 1 and 8 equals an octagon, and the 7 and a 2 equals an octagon, which both sum up to 9. Does that mean that every perfect symmetric shape adds up to the 9? I would say so. Okay. By 4, 540. Okay. Equals 9 again. I am reading this now. The pentagon. The 5 is the musical keynote to 432, which adds up to 4 plus 3 plus 2 equals 9. All shapes. Wow. Okay. And by 6, 360, 369, the number of both the square and the circle. 360 degrees equals 36, which equals 9. Yeah. All forms. Okay. Awesome. I think we're done for today. You guys are incredible. What's up? All right, you all. Come have tea party with me. June 14, 6/14. What does that day add up to? Why 6/14? Okay, which is a Sunday. 6/14. 6 plus 5 equals 11. Okay, got 2 pillars. 11 plus the year equals 10. It's 3 pillars. Nice. 1, 1, 1. Because the year adds up to 10. 6/14 adds up to 11. 1, 1, 1. All right, you all. I'll see you here 1 p.m. Central Time, June 14th. But otherwise, we are here every Friday, 1 p.m. Central Time. Hit subscribe, hit like right now, you all. Follow me everywhere. And once more, something that I can, for my infomercials today, I will talk about this beautiful necklace. You could check it out or add the link there. It's made out of sapphire, Herkimer diamond, and tanzanite. Is the little drop, the little raindrop here, tanzanite. And you can find that under my website. All right. Thank you. I love you, honor you, and respect you. Thank you for being you, being so incredible. Come book a session. I have sessions available, one-on-one sessions, Akashic readings for this month, and then next month as well. I have A.U.R.A sessions next month available. Go book those up so you could quantumly go into the ether and heal yourself through quantum alchemy, Aura, hypnosis, entity removal. I love you, honor you, respect you. I have raw Reiki sessions. I do all these courses that I certify people in. I also I do sessions too. So love to meet you in person here in my wellness center or online as well. I love you. Thank you for being you. You are so incredible. Go dance off today. Dance it off. What song do we have? See if I can find a fast moving song. What's up, you all? You guys are so incredible. All right, let's go. Come on. You guys always ask me what songs I play because you love the music I play. This one is called The Cobblestone by Aisling. Aisling. Come on, move those feet. Those Irish jiggies, those Irish jigs, you know, like when they're stomping their feet, it's really an alchemy, right? All right, you all. See you next Friday, this Friday coming up. Thank you for being here. See you next time. Thank you, loves. Whatever way you found me, you are here because you're meant to come here to the Chicago Rising Phoenix Mystery School Wellness Center. Come meet me. Come. You'll love it. You'll love it. Join us every 4 months when I host the retreats. Let me know if you have any questions, write in the comments.